fire can help here.
Secret ingredient for someone, I'll bet. but my pack has room. That must be chain scrape. Drew said I could get my bow upgraded in there. I'd be able to tinker with my other gear, too. Gemstone. It's green like blaze, but it's hard and shiny.
Outlander
I
approaching.
wonder if merchants would be
Is that
interested.
the savior?
Wanna come in, Savior? Welcome to Chainscrape, Savior.
Open up, guys. Dwarf's orders.
Good enough for me.
By the forge.
Petra?
Aloy, what are you doing here? About time there was something worth looking at in this dump.
It's nice to see you, too.
And not a moment too soon. Come on. Damn brewery's the only thing I can count on in this place.
Yeah, I heard. Sheen's, work stoppage.
Oh, those are just the latest malfunctions. Chainscrape's always been a few tools short of a kit. And right there is the biggest tool of all.
Our land, not our problem. The bristlebacks are everybody's problem.
Roland?
You've heard of him,
Yeah.
but he's a story best told over a cold beer.
Petra. I'm just passing through. I'm headed west.
Oh,
There's an embassy at Barrenlight I need to make happen, and then I keep moving.
ah, of course. Bigger gears to grind. Well, Flamehair, good to see you. You've got to move on.
Petra.
But if you want a cold beer and a few laughs with an old friend, come find me at the brewery. Your choice.
Well, this Olvan guy sounds like trouble. Maybe Petra could use some support. But first things first, I need to find that workbench and upgrade my bow.
Do I have to say it every time?
How am I supposed to work with a hammer in this state?
Cool. Till Alvin blows that whistle. Workbench is free.
Watch as I walk. Ask her. I don't know what she's doing here. I just know I need another hand.
One hammer isn't gonna kill me.
Next thing I know. I'm running around naked with an apple in. And an arrow sticking out of my head.
Shop looks closed.
Yep.
Can I still use the workbench?
I ain't gonna stop you. Thinking of upgrading that gear? Workbench is all...
This should be useful. Now I just need to find Erend and help him clear the bristlebacks.
That's what you said last time. And the time before.
Don't care what the job is. I can provide it for my boys.
Are you sure? I told him. I didn't want it. Oh, that's a lot of red hair.
I could take her.
Hey, Mildef. I took some of your stew last time I went into the wilds. Kept me going for a week. Felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hold.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Oven didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me. Now I've even worn out my special grill. Since I'm in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted?
Some of your food?
Of course.
Are Ulvin's people causing you problems?
Oh, yeah. They constantly demand my best, but the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Ulvin discount they feel so entitled to.
And if you refuse?
I make meals, not trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work. So I got myself out here and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. Or the ale.
Your last customer mentioned your cooking really kept him going out in the wild. Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly.
But...
But my special groove griddle is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Olvin or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can source me a temporary replacement?
what do you need?
For the ingredients, a few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems. That'll do. As for the griddle, a corrugated metal panel might suffice until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in a scrounger pile if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have no issue finding boars and bitter leaf on your way. Assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Mildif. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like.
And don't let anyone push you around, okay?
If you say so.
Already got enough meat and bitter leaf. Just need to grab a metal panel from the scrounger pile.
You know what? I will have some of that boar meat.
Come to revel in some strike, sister? Let me set the board.
I was just passing by.
First timer, huh? Don't worry about it. I'll go easy on you. You got any pieces?
No.
Well, aren't you in luck then? I got an extra set, a Tanakh original, straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something special if you win it on my boards, too. All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth a different number of victory points. And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points. It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them. You see that number on the top right corner? That there is how notes also tell you how far a piece can, how powerful their attacks are, the distance they can, and of course, their health. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just, I own the board. Since this is your first, usually you get to choose which pieces to pick up that machine. And remember, each machine, take a look at your notes if you need a reminder. Move that machine forward. It's all part of the learning process. Just need to, move that machine forward. Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each. Just need... Perfect. There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn. We're forging on. And we're back to you. Try with that machine on your right first. Now move the piece close. When performing an attack, you'll be testing your machine's combat power against a machine's combat power is a combination of this board only has grassland terrain, and your current machine has. So in total, your machine's combat, since my machine isn't the one, and just like your machine, so right now, this means your machine can. Did you get all that? Knew you were a smart one. Finish up by. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine of yours. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. That lets it move 1 space further. Try it out. Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk, and overcharging lets you attack after a sprint. It will damage your machine's health, so use at your own discretion. Let's try doing that now so you can see what I mean. That's about it for your turn, then. Now, I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces. Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there, and you'll do some damage, but not a lot. Now, here, let me show you. Rotate that piece so your machine faces mine. Now let that machine have it. Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved. You're still getting the hang of it, I know. Now, overcharge. Why not attack my machine while you got the chance? Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points first. That's why sometimes losing a piece can be the best. Now, you'll know, but you did destroy all my pieces. That means you're the winner! And just remember to always check for the best terrain to attack from. You'd be surprised the advantage you can get. I know it saved my behind in the game.
I'll try and remember that.
Oh, before I forget, these are all my spare pieces. I want the Savior of Meridian to have one. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces that can turn a game in your favor, though they'll need the right materials to craft you one. Or you might find them in the wilds if you're lucky. You know, I've lost my fair share of pieces after a night of machine hunting or brew hopping. No need to thank me. Always a pleasure to help out new strike players. Now, if you feel like playing a real game, I've got plenty of other boards. I could even teach you a few more tricks if you're up for it.
Thanks. I'll think about it.
Don't be a stranger.
Corvin and the others are doing better than I am.
What happened to you?
That damn mine is what happened to me. It won't be the last injury if Olvin keeps shoving those tongs into those tunnels.
What mine?
Northeast of Chain Scrape, where the river ends. I told Corvin we should stop when the first cave-in happened, but Olvin probably threatened to cut off her pay. Or worse.
How about you slow down and take me through it? You mentioned you were injured in a cave-in.
Yeah, a couple days ago. That's how I hurt this blasted leg. Corvin and the others were opening a new vein. As soon as the blast hit, tunnel I was in collapsed. Might have dodged it if I wasn't. We were pushing too hard.
And you're afraid Corvin and the others...
Mm-hmm.
How come Olvin's in charge?
Tried telling Olvin that. He brought in all the backing to get him up. Fire and spit.
Who's Corvin?
He's their foreman. The kind that knows how to deal with management. But Olvin. Corvin's been doing his best. He even blamed himself for my injury, when it was Olvin.
Sounds like a good...
That's why we all put up with the long hours and lousy conditions. But if the whole mine becomes unstable, I'd rather suffer Olvin's wrath than die.
I could check in on your crew.
Throw me in with pigs. I dare you.
We are on the same side here, Olvin. The bristlebacks threaten us all.
Oh, drop the act. We all know it was the Carja who let the bristlebacks into the valley.
What do you want, Olvin? Some kind of payment?
My dear magistrate, if you want that whistle blown, all you have to do is have your soldiers remove the bristlebacks and sign the concession decree. Face it.
Hi.
Savior, what auspicious timing. Might we...
We might. Later.
Very well.
So, the Savior herself.
Maybe.
I've heard many tales of your beauty and heroics, my fierce lady. Olvin Freehold. So, what could have dragged you, smudge of a settlement, your saviorly attention?
I'm here for the embassy and...
The embassy? Ah. Greater gears for greater matter.
Once I've dealt with any problems around here that...
Ah, the bristleback. Got to get rid of them if you want that embassy, well...
Not so fast. You don't seem to have a high opinion of the magic...
Well, I refuse to play when my fellow laborers are being intimidated and...
How noble of you.
Noble? Ha! Nobody handed me anything or everything I've...
And where is this hammer now?
The, burden. The Carja risk nothing, while someone had to step up and say no more.
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. Until the Carja clean up their mess and give us the fair... I'm not risking Osseram life.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good who do all the back-breaking work. Well, all we're asking for is the ability to share in this prospect for a land worked by the...
Right. And just how much would be your share?
Only an amount appropriate.
Where's the whistle?
Right in the middle of town, but with...
I'm going to clear out the bristlebacks. And when I'm done, this valley is gonna get moving.
If that's what it takes.
Just be ready to blow the whistle. Better see what that Carja magistrate wanted. I bet he's in the tavern.
I know you see me. Gotta keep